Welcome to this ultimate session of the kickoff days of our 12th ÖGMBT Annual Meeting. And as you see in the program broadcasted right now, we've had three great and very interesting, scientifically interesting scientific sessions in the mornings. On the one hand side, to this ultimate session of the kickoff days of our 12th. Sorry, I hear myself. And as you see in the program broadcasted right now, we've had three I need to stop because I hear myself, I think, via the YouTube channel.
Yes, we just went live. It could be that you.
Yes, my fault. I had that on. And now let's go back to this. I hope you can see the first slide.
And no presentation is off at the moment. Okay. It was on.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Now it should be there.
I'm still not seeing anything. Now it's coming. Yeah.
Okay. Just to restart what I wanted to say. We have had for 3 days in a row scientific sessions on corona research in Austria, on cryo-EM and healthy aging in the morning sessions. And we've had very interactive afternoon sessions always. On the one hand side, the Life Scientists Awards Austria on Monday. And yesterday, an introduction to the Life Science Tuesdays, which will happen bi-weekly starting October 6th until March 23rd, 2021. And we've had the kickoff of the virtual expo where our company partners present themselves in the virtual rooms. And today we will have another very interesting session, the career opportunity session, which has become a tradition in our annual meetings. It will be thus the kickoff of this virtual life science career fair. And what is most remarkable, and you've seen it, I've proven it more or less, we also stream on YouTube live. We always did it for the afternoon sessions. And with this, I also welcome everybody listening to us on YouTube. And without further ado, I would stop my presentation and pass on to the chairs of today's session, especially I think it is Pascal Müllner. Pascal, you are there? Do you hear me?
I'm co-chairing this session until Pascal has solved his technical issues. My name is Felix Locker. I'm from the YLSA and the YLSA speaker. We are part of the ÖGMBT, the Young Life Scientists Austria, and we are always co-organizing these sessions. Also, we did at the last General Assembly. And what I want to make you aware of that we will be later at the career fair also with a booth where you can visit us and chat with us and get some additional information on what the YLSA is and what the ÖGMBT in general has to offer. And yeah, with this, I think now I can give it to Pascal when he's here now. Not yet. Then I use the time and tell you what we are doing at the YLSA. In general, we are organizing events like company visits, social get-togethers, out-of-the-box talks, in order to get some ideas for young participants of the ÖGMBT, also for younger students, PhD students, younger postdocs, what's out there, also which possibilities there are beside academia, and also to get in touch with companies and to get some insights, because we had this opinion that very often the people were somehow in their bubble and didn't know what to do after this. And we had very good experiences with the company visits and the out-of-the-box talks, because it opens your mind a little bit and you get an idea what to do afterwards. And what we especially like is the social events. So now Corona, in the Corona times, we did it more often online. Before we went out and got a beer or went to the Christmas market in order to talk about general stuff, also to solve some lab issues, because we are at the PhD stage, at least all somehow in a research environment, and some problems, Western blot issues or whatever, are discussed nicely when you have some young colleagues around and no pressure from the PIs, so to say. And yeah, that's it. Visit us at the career fair, and I now hope that Pascal is ready.
Okay, I think I'll pitch in for Pascal, who's still having some technical problems. My name is Andrea Bauer from the ÖGMBT office, and Pascal was first of all going to introduce you to this afternoon's program, which will be that we will have 3 talks by invited speakers presenting their careers. They will be speaking each 10 minutes and with 5 minutes Q&A. I see Pascal is here, so I can resign and hand over. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had some internet connectivity problems, so I hope it will be fine now. So I don't know what you've already said, but it is my pleasure to also announce the 3 following speakers. It's a great honor to have these 3 persons who made their career in life sciences and will share their experience, motivation, and professional development with us. And I hope that some of you also have some questions for us, so feel free to post your questions in the chat. And after every presentation, there will be some time for questions. And then after the free presentation, in the second hour, we have the opening of our virtual career fair. And we'll get further insights starting from 4 p.m. on. So first, I want to introduce you to Dr. Karin Schaub. She studied pharmaceutical chemistry and received her doctorate at the Karl Franzens University in Graz. And then she had already 23 years of industrial experience from department head, then, if I remember correctly, to the first member of the board of a pharma company in Europe. In Fresenius Kabi, in my studies, I also had the pleasure to participate in one of her lectures. It was really interesting. And since 2003, she's a self-employed consultant at the interface between science, business, with a focus on innovation and corporate development. So Dr. Schaub, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Pascal. A warm welcome from my side, and try to cruise a little bit through career possibilities of Big Pharma. Since you will hear from my colleagues a little bit about biotech possibilities and startups, and also medtech. So my career was basically in Big Pharma, and I would like to show you on my pathway through my experience that how many possibilities there is for life science in the Big Pharma, which you probably do not even sense, because there's a lot of activities in the big pharma, from research of molecules up to making really a product that is marketed. I started basically I was a researcher at the university, and just to give you also a little bit of the way how one should make career planning, in the sense that you don't plan at all. It was on the same day that I received my university career path, that on the same day I saw an announcement of a little pharmaceutical company that was based in Graz. I wasn't even aware of that company. And I just had the feeling, my God, I didn't even know that there was a pharmaceutical company existing here. So I applied for head of analytics, which basically, since I was studying pharmaceutical science in Graz, and I got the job. So this is how I started, having no idea of how far this would lead. And I was allowed to develop a research group in this little company, because I just saw that the way this little company was making new development was not very structured. So I asked whether I could do it in a more structured way, and I was allowed to build up a research group. And basically I became the head of it. So this is the benefit if you start things. But this just shows that you never know where it leads to, if you are just engaged, if you are raise your hands, and if you trust in yourself. And within this career, small companies in pharmaceutical, big pharma usually are sold. So I was sold twice. And this is quite stressy, because you never know what happens. And I just trusted that basically the research we did was so good that we could also perform well in the big new owners. And so it happened that I became responsible in a bigger pharma group, which was formerly a BASF affiliate. And so I became responsible basically for this infusion therapy in intensive care medicine. And from there, I was sold again. And so the same story started, and it was quite difficult, because I was first in my life confronted that basically a process was applied where I was not familiar with. This was a bidding process. This means that one was really in a contest which company would buy us, and which basically would decide upon the further being of myself, to be honest. And I was lucky, but I think it was also that the group that I belonged to did a very good job. And so I was also in this new group, I was allowed to lead a research group, and which was still based in Graz. And this was basically the surprising thing, because normally if you are bought by a big company, a bigger company, then all things are transferred. And we were fighting like hell, showing that we were really good. And this fighting ended, that the research group for this infusion therapy was established in Graz, and the group in Graz grew from formerly 80 people to about 200. And at this time, I thought that I had basically learned enough to change from research into management. And during all my activities, I was allowed to learn a lot, also on how to lead a group, how to do both project management. I learned about finances and budgeting. And so lucky enough, by the time I think it was in 1997, I became a manager of the Austrian affiliate together with a colleague in Austria. So it's also something that probably was a bit surprising, to change from research and development into management. And from there, I was responsible finally for classical Austria, Eastern Europe. And then, which is probably not so common, I became member of the board of Fresenius Kabi with a worldwide business responsibility. So this is a very short lane to see what possibilities there are. And I think one of the secrets is, on the one side, that pharmaceutical industry offers so many different possibilities. If you're a researcher, you can be in molecule designing, you can be in drug development. And if you're more project manager type, and if you are not hesitant to learning all the rules, because pharmaceutical industry is probably one of the most regulated industries in the world, that everything you have learned at the university is only a basis for what you are doing later, because everything is molded into a core set of rules. Everything you do has to obey certain rules, otherwise the final product will not receive approval from the authorities. So it's a very wide span of opportunities, and the only advice and what I could give you is, whenever you see an announcement in pharmaceutical industry or in medtech or in biotech, and if you feel, oh, that's not really what I know, apply. Because you would have no ideas what opportunities you would have, and maybe you do something totally different. But if you're open-minded and if you trust in your abilities. And the second thing is, in pharmaceutical industry, you have to be flexible and mobile. Pharmaceutical industry is international. It's not local, it's international. So you have to be aware that you have to fly a lot, that you have to stay at very different areas, but it's probably one of the most fascinating opportunities you can have. So if this is fine with all the managers now of this meeting, could we move over to Q&A, or should I do something more about possibilities? Pascal?
So thank you, Dr. Szabo, for this interesting insight. I have no questions currently from the participants, okay. But then I would start with a question. So what I would be interested, you also said that you have to be flexible and mobile, of course, but back when you said you started and you considered starting your academic career and then moving into industry, what made you choose industry before academia?
Oh, it was maybe I'm a management type of person. I like to change things. I like to move things along. So I just got the feeling that I was simply curious. And I just got the feeling that this would fit more to my personality. And this is why I simply applied. And probably this was also a prerequisite that I changed so many times my responsibilities. So I think it's also to ask yourself, are you the type of really digging into problems very deeply and staying rather at the same area? Or are you ready to move? Are you ready to manage groups and learn? So I think it was just, I don't know whether I had all these thoughts at that time. It was very spontaneous.
Yeah, I think you also have to be a bit spontaneous for this,
I think
for your career.
And maybe to say this true, even probably my career was not very common in the sense that I changed so many times, that I was sold and everything. This was still in times where you stayed basically within one company all your life. I think with you all who are listening now, this definitely will not be the case. So today, there is a lot of change going on all the time. So probably you will not stay in one place for all of your life. And one has to face this, that you have to be flexible and to cope with all the situations. I mean, we see it right now that we are all fighting, and even I myself have to fight with video and try to learn it.
Here I have some questions from the chat. So Clara Obrova says, a very impressive career. Do you get to use your research background in the management roles?
Yes, absolutely. So if whatever business it is, but of course, pharmaceutical industry, medtech, biotech are research-based industries. So I think without my research background and without all the steps that I did, I was responsible for manufacturing, I was responsible for analytics, I was responsible for clinical research. It's the basic understanding how this industry works. So with the exception of maybe the legal departments and the finance departments in pharmaceutical industries, if you make a career on the research side, this is absolutely necessary that you have a research background. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand the language.
Yeah, I think this answers this question quite well. Maybe we get another comment, but another question from Sarah Linauer. What is the major difference in research work in pharmaceutical companies compared to university research besides GXP?
Okay. Anything about quality, we coordinated. Joachim will talk to you. I think that the major research is in industry, there is a lot of pressure. And there is a lot of competition, which projects will gain, which projects will be preceded. There is always a lot of ideas, and there is always a lot of project proposals. And the management of a company will decide which projects will be preceded and which projects are simply bid. And it's also a time and budget pressure that's there. And so one has to realize that you have to be really well equipped to withstand this pressure. And it's a teamwork issue. So in industry, probably in all the industry, but in pharmaceutical industry as such, it's always teamwork. So it's always a group. And it's always the responsibility of the group. And basically, you have to fight, you have to be lucky. But basically, it's the budget pressure and the time pressure. And it's a lot of competition out there because each company wants to be first. So this is the big difference to university research. I know that there is fight for budget. This is also fight for room in the university, but basically you can decide what you're doing. And this is a big difference to industry.
Okay, Sarah Linauer responded, thank you. And is it possible to switch from research to quality control to management easily? Or will I be more area bound as a master? And also if she needs to have a PhD, or is it not that important in pharmaceutical industry?
Well, it totally depends. For instance, if you take the drug development line, and let's put it at the very end, if you want to be in marketing, as you know, pharmaceutical marketing is not done as common goods marketing, so it's done by education. So if usually they don't take PhD people there, but they take master people there. Or if you are more on the biotech side, if you want to start in a lab, it's not it's not necessary that you have a PhD. But if you are in real research-orientated groups, then the PhD is necessary because you have learned to work on yourself. This is the big difference between a master and the PhD. You have learned how to do research. You have learned to formulate things. So I think it very much depends on in which area you want to work.
Okay, thank you again for these interesting insights. Also, thank you very much from the people that asked questions. And you have to imagine the virtual applause. I will give you the rest of it. And maybe we can move on with the questions. Maybe we have a few other questions, but we have to move on, and maybe our other speakers will respond to that. Thank you again, Dr. Karin Schaub.
Sorry, I have to leave, but I have another meeting coming on. Thank you very much.
So moving on, after Dr. Karin Schaub, we have another very successful woman in life science industry, Dr. Eva Binder. She studied technical chemistry at the University of Technology in Vienna and did her PhD in biochemistry and biotechnology. Additionally, she also has a master's degree in knowledge management. And then back in 1996, she started as a director of strategic research at Biomin. And then a few years later, she got promoted and moved to Singapore for 3 years. Very interesting step. Maybe she will give us further insights on that. And there she was responsible for implementation of research and development process management tools. And since 2001, she is the vice president of research and development at the ERBA AG. And since 2018, also the managing director of ERBA Future Business. This is the incubator of the ERBA group. So, Dr. Eva, the stage is yours.
No? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yep.
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this kind introduction. It's really my great pleasure to participate at this event here. I'm very glad to share with you my experiences, the scientific careers in life science industry, although this is mainly based on my experience within the ERBA group, the company group that is in the food and food safety business. Now, I have a good and a bad message to you, but I'm actually very convinced that with a very high probability, there are no linear career models for scientists in the industry anymore. As Mrs. Schaub told us before, we have to be very flexible. I would like to try and share now a picture with you. I hope this works. This obviously, just give me a second here.
Yeah. Share screen at the bottom and then.
Does this work?
Yeah. We're starting to see. Yes, you only need to start the presentation.
Yes, I think this works. This is just a picture of our research center at the campus in Thun. And what you see here is our different research team. These are specialists that are focused on different disciplines. And if you look at those like digital lab, discovery and scouting, cell biology, bioprocess development, and so on, not many of them you will find in the curriculum of the typical university study So very much of this has been developed out of the need for certain knowledge and expertise, and people develop into these roles, even if they had some very different background in research and development or university studies and academic background. One example is the digital lab. Like 10 years ago, we didn't have a single person taking care of bioinformatics. Now we have 12 people who are involved in these topics. I think this is a very interesting development where we see that the requirements are changing and we have to adapt and be flexible.
Excuse me.
Yes. Excuse me. Is that there is a lot of opportunity with the life science background education. You have a lot of opportunities for development, but you have to look into interdisciplinary approaches. Of course, we have in our company a lot of people with traditional career developments, but for example, the CEO of the other group, he has a PhD in biotechnology, and many of our local managing directors, they have a scientific background. This reaches from animal nutrition to technical chemistry, like I am one. So apart from the operative research, as somebody with life science background, there are opportunities in companies like ours in R&D management, of course, innovation, intellectual property management, as well as quality management, which is pretty close to the academic education that we receive. But we also have an introduction, product registration, product management, HR, and for example, like me, also in event management or crisis communication. So there is really a broad opportunity to develop and seek your careers as long as you are open and flexible.
Binder,
so
Mrs. Binder, hello.
Is with a life science background, you have all careers open. You can even become the mayor of a city like Vienna, for example. And these are very often opportunities that we do not consider during our studies at the university. What I would also like to emphasize is we need patience. You know it from your thesis works. Sometimes it's boring, it's cumbersome. And what I also see in a career in an industrial research department, you have to be patient. There are regulations, there are internal and external requirements, there are documentation and reporting issues and policies that you have to fulfill. This can be challenging, but this we have to take into consideration. This is not always just fun, to be honest. But nevertheless, last but not least, of course, you also need some fun in the work, and you need some passion for the work that you are doing. And this is very important. In the field I'm working in, this is food and food safety. Okay, it's easy to get passion because everybody wants to have safe food. But it's also about being proud of the work we are doing. And with this, I will try to share 2 other slides that I get from my colleagues from the research center. Just a question how I'm doing this. Does this work? Obviously not. Okay. So just a few facts and figures about that I would like to share. My research colleagues, they put up some statistics because in R&D it's always important to look into statistics, and they are proud of having more than 300 patents granted. They have every year more than 200,000 research hours per year that we invest into our research projects. We have had more than 35 research projects that were funded by EU or national agencies. They look into even details like how many pipette tips we are using, which is close to 1 million. We used in the last year 96,000 petri dishes for analysis. So I think it's about the challenge, the patience, and the passion that we have to look into if we want to have a career in life sciences, particularly in the industry.
Please keep your headset on because we had audio problems and your presentation wasn't started and we couldn't tell you.
Okay. Because I had to put them down because I have a horrible echo.
Might be that you have your computer audio also on, so your speakers and your headset.
Because we could hardly understand your presentation. And that was coming in on the chat too.
Okay, now we cannot hear you, Dr. Binder. Thank you again for the introduction of your career, your insights. As you can see, it's for each of one of us, it's the first time doing the annual meeting online and also the virtual career fair. So there's still some problems to accomplish, but it's interesting times that we are living in. Dr. Binder, can you hear me? If not, then Joachim Seiper will have a bit more of an extra time. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, now we can
hear you now.
So, a question from my side, as I cannot see any questions from the chat. In my introduction, I said that you moved to Singapore. Very interesting step, and we also heard in the first presentation of Dr. Szabo that it's important to be flexible and mobile. What were your experiences moving to Singapore, living there, working there? How did it help your career? Was it a big challenge?
Oh, I wouldn't miss it because it makes you kind of humble. Be some foreigner somewhere helps you. It's also an interesting experience for the family, to be honest. But you also learn to deal with cultures that are different than you have it here in Austria, for example. So I can recommend it to everybody to go overseas.
Okay, so I hope that you all listen to this advice, at least maybe in the mid of next year when it will be easier to travel again and move to different countries. Another question, as I also mentioned, that you are the managing director of the incubator of the ERBA group. What do you have any advices for maybe our students or young scientists that are interested in start up their own company?
Well, the interesting thing is you can learn to list balance sheets. It takes some time and you need some good teachers. But to me, same as Mrs. Szabo, it was a really good experience to get away from research into the business kind of approach. I did some reorganization. I did some major acquisition. I learned a lot. You have to be open, and it's absolutely not boring to do this. But it's a very different kind of field of discipline.
Okay, maybe there are some people interested in starting their own business, don't feel encouraged. I think it is important for Austria and also for our life sciences that we have young, innovative scientists. And thank you again to Dr. Binder for the interesting talk. We now have to move on to Dr. Joachim Seipelt. Joachim Seipelt he did his PhD in biochemistry, and then after that gained industrial experience at Boehringer Ingelheim. He's the co-founder of Avia Green Hills Biotechnology, where he was in charge of third-party funded projects and also business development. And he was additionally also a project manager of several European Commission projects. From 2013 to 2017, he was the head of the business unit at the Austria Wirtschaftsservice GmbH, the Austria's funding bank, where he was in charge of programs to support startup companies and creative industries. And now he's the COO of Blue Sky Therapies and Novonis Technologies in Vienna. So Joachim.
So thank you very much for this nice invitation and the description. I simply start sharing my screen. So as was here we go. Now here we are. Yeah. As it was just mentioned, my career was a little bit between different fields. So I enjoyed very much doing my research at the university, but I also enjoyed very much doing stuff at companies like Boehringer Ingelheim, where I had the pleasure to do my PhD and my diploma thesis. After that, I moved from the industry back into life science at the university. So as a postdoc, then I was a group leader at the Max Perutz Labs in Vienna. But at that time, I also founded my first company, and this was Avia Green Hills. And I will give you some insights how biotech and the world works a little bit for people coming out of the academia. Then I did something entirely different to move to a funding agency, and now I'm back into biotech business actually. And I enjoyed every step of that a lot actually. But what is it actually? At the beginning of a scientific career, I think everything is about scientific knowledge. So you have your university, you study a lot, and then you get a lot of scientific knowledge. And the strange thing is that throughout life, this knowledge changes. So when I was at the university, I had the impression that I had a very good overview about biochemistry and a lot of different things. In my diploma thesis, I started to get even more knowledge in fields, specific fields like gene regulation. And at my PhD, it was even more on rhinoviruses. As a postdoc, it was rhinoviruses, but it was a specific part of rhinoviruses. And as a lab head, it was even more specific to a certain topic. And so in this generation of knowledge, you feel much more specialized actually to a very small and sometimes even minute topic where you are the best expert in the world, but only 10 people in the world are interested in this expertise actually. And this ends usually in this kind of situation. 3 postdocs, 6 papers will work for food. And this is not the situation as it is in reality, because there's one main question you have to ask when you are at the end of your, when you are approaching the end of your university career. Why should somebody pay for you outside of basic research? Because as I've just explained, you are the expert in the very, very, very small field of something very, very, very special, but very, very important also. and this is the issue where one major part comes into play. People will not pay for you for this small expertise in a certain field. They will pay for you because you are good, and there are several reasons for that. As a scientist, usually you can solve problems. It seems to be trivial, but this is not the case. For a scientist, usually it's easy to understand very complicated things because this was what you have done for 5 years during the university and your PhD and your diploma thesis when you try to understand the papers of others. You can cope with big and sometimes even conflicting amounts of data. Just think of reading different papers on one certain topic, and you need to get together different views on how things work and what it could mean. Usually scientists do not have problems with numbers. So you can work in teams and you're used to that because this is what you did all your life, more or less. You can supervise and teach students, and this is the early phase of what we later on will call leadership. Actually, you are experienced with electronic devices and stuff like that, from PCR machines to computers. This is very normal for everybody actually in science. You can present your work, and a different word would be you can sell your work, and here comes a little bit of the business into play. And you have organizing skills, but the list is not exhaustive. So yeah, I think if you sit around and think about what I just said, you will find many other skills that are actually relevant. And these skills are the reason why somebody needs you in your company, in his company, be it a small biotech or a big pharmaceutical company. And within this, as an example of kind of job opportunities within a biotech company, I just wanted to mention some items. What is going on in a biotech company, and actually what does it need to move an idea or a concept, a scientific concept, to reality? So what do they do in essence? And you will easily see that in the steps that I will illustrate in a second, there are job perspectives in every step of that. For example, everything starts with a business plan, because there's a scientific development somewhere at the university or in the company, whatever, but you need to formulate it into a business plan to find out whether this is really a situation where one would invest money, or you would invest your own money with the hope that you will not lose that kind of money actually. So what is needed here is a very good overview about the whole situation, the scientific background, but also the plan, how you would like to develop and structure your work within the company. Main important thing is also intellectual property. And this is also an entirely highly interesting, very rewarding field actually. It seems boring from the outside, but it is not actually. It's a highly sophisticated matter where you usually work together with a lot of experts actually, and can be highly interesting. And clearly it is of key relevance for every type of pharmaceutical or biotech company. Usually if you're in a company, then you also are able to obtain some grants, but it's not the case like a university grant where you simply get a huge amount, and it's not usually at the university, it's not huge, but a certain amount of money, and then you can do what you want, more or less. Company projects are much more structured and organized. You usually also have partners within the project, so you need somebody who is organizing the fulfillment of the projects that are funded by the grant. So this is grant management, and it comes from application of a grant up to the finalization of the work that was done within the grant, including all the financials actually. And for example, at Avia Green Hills, I was for some time responsible for that part. And we have been very successful in obtaining huge grants from the European Union. And I think it was a very fascinating work also because you need a very good overview about the whole project, and you need some expertise to communicate with all the scientists that are involved from different institutions actually. And so the science background definitely helps. Also, project management is clearly always a topic in biotech, in pharmaceutical industry, because many things are structured as a project and they simply do not run by themselves. They need organization. Yeah? When we now have move into a different phase, it's now product development. So what is it? So this might be chemical compounds, it might be vaccines, it might be therapeutic proteins, whatever. I'm talking mostly about biotech, not so much medtech, but in principle it's very similar. So you need certain groups of people that move that product development further, because actually the idea is that you would like to test your product later on in clinical trials to show that this is really, it has an effect on people. But product development is not just one step actually. For example, you need people that develop certain types of assays. For example, how would you measure now the efficacy of a new COVID vaccine within the patient? It's not trivial actually, and these assays need to be not only developed, but they have to be also be very correct from a quality type of perspective. Production of biotech material is clearly an issue. So if you want to do a clinical trial, you will need a bigger amount of proteins, vaccines, whatever. So there's a lot of development work, scale-up work going on. Next issue is coordination with partners and contractors. This is also clearly relevant for biotech business. And then we move into the whole field of preclinical development. So these are animal models. It's a huge field of work. It's the next field is regulatory issues. So this means before you can do a clinical trial, you have to contact the regulatory authorities, so the FDA, the EMA, and coordinate what you wish to do and get the license to do that actually in patients. And in the whole process, there's always also this quality aspect. And the quality aspect in pharmaceutical industry is different to what you do at the university. At the university, you repeat your experiments, and then somebody in a different lab repeats your experiment. And if you agree, then everything is fine. For pharmaceutical quality, this is not sufficient, because you need to be sure that what you're doing is really correct. So this means the pipette is calibrated, the fridge is at the temperature it should be, because at the end you want to test your product in humans, and so there are very strict regulations on that, and quality is an issue that moves throughout the whole development actually. Then we have clinical development, so moving into clinical trials, business development, meeting other companies, cooperating with other companies, scientific communication, because you also need to talk about what you are doing in regard to investors and so on. And this is only a short list, an overview list of what types of jobs actually are there in a typical biotech environment. And actually, I really would encourage everybody to look into these different fields actually to find out whether they are interesting for you, because usually when you move out of science, you don't see all these things on your radar. And with a background as a scientist, you have very many important skills for all these different types of jobs. Actually, you will need to learn additional stuff, obviously, but you will learn hopefully for your whole life, and this is not a bad sign actually. And as a final word, so clearly there are some helpful qualifications that you can pick up on the way. Actually, there are courses, so if you're interested in one of these things, this is just it's a non-exhaustive list, but these are typically qualifications that help you in biotech actually. But the essence is actually that you have to see it like on the right side. The translation is, I never tried it before, and this is the reason why I'm sure that I can make it. And this is the attitude that you should have actually when approaching a job in biotech. So thank you.
Thank you, Joachim, for your highly encouraging talk, I would say. I have a question from Inka Titara. She thinks the same that it was an amazing talk and that you talked about transferable skills of scientists. Usually, even though we have skills, even at the entry-level farmers, they ask for 5 years of experience in the field. Should you still apply if they ask for 5 years of experience?
So in principle, you have to understand that a job offer actually is a wish list. So it's the wish list of the perfect guy or girl or whatever. Yeah? And usually everybody wants somebody who is very young, has tons of experience and doesn't cost any money. And this is clearly not what reality is. So in principle, I very much encourage to apply for all positions that are in where you feel fit. To make it more clear, I think it's also in your application entirely important to reflect on these skills that we mentioned. So by simply sending a CV with 5 scientific publications, it will not help, because they would see you in a mindset of a scientist that is counted by publications. And you have to change that perspective to the skills-based perspective to be successful, actually. So clearly, 5 years of experience in the field is a wish list. I would apply actually anyway. Huh? I think that's why not? Huh? You might miss something otherwise.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I also made the same experience in the past. So Katarina Purini said, thank you, Joachim. As you went from being a group leader to a company founder, how did you gain the necessary skills you needed, such as IP and development, for example?
Actually, you pick it up on the way you need to learn it and to understand it. And actually, I think it's, for example, the IP part. The IP part is not very complicated, because you need to understand the basic principles of what IP means, how this is regulated, and what you can do within this framework. It's like learning a very basic language, actually, but on a very basic level. And so I'm not an expert in the IP field, but I'm an expert in that sense that I can communicate with our IP lawyer, who is a fully professional IP guy, and we can discuss how our company's strategy should look like and what we could do on certain decision points. And for that, I need an understanding what is doable, what is realistic, and a good feeling about the whole IP world actually. And this you can pick up on the way actually, and this happened in my case also. And as all these law things have an inherent logical feature, they are not very complicated for scientists, because we like logical things actually, because for our feeling logical things are quite easy. And it's like learning new methods. So in science, you have to learn a new method every second year because something develops that is, and high throughput sequencing, RNA sequencing, you name it. So why not pick up something about IP? It's not an huge issue. And the same is true with business development, because you have to understand what the concept, what you wish to achieve actually, and to pick up the tools that you need to get to that kind of situation. And I think you can pick up a lot of different things on your way, but you have to move and to simply not be shy actually, that you might not know what to do. Maybe you will make mistakes. Actually, in my professional life, I have the saying that I do a lot of mistakes actually, and I hope that more than 50% of my decisions are good decisions, because if this is the case, then I'm happy and everything goes well. But it is far from being perfect in the sense that you will not do a bad decision. This is not what life is about actually. So if the majority of your decisions are good decisions, then I think you are happy and you are successful in business.
Okay, thank you again, Joachim. I have just one more comment from Matthias from 10x Genomics that also made me chuckle, and I can agree to that. He says, great presentation, Joachim. Just a brief comment. In my opinion, and out of my personal experience, another important skill you acquired to perfection during your PhD is to handle frustration and learn self-motivation. Some attributes you need in many jobs outside academia. And also inside academia, I would add to that.
I completely agree, and that's I didn't mention that skill because it's not a positive skill in a way, but obviously it's true. Everybody has experienced that. I think this is entirely true for many different jobs actually, that there's frustration. For me, working mostly in small biotechs, I think one very interesting part is that there's a lot of energy from the people in a small biotech, because you are not stuck in huge and complex structures actually that avoid that you move out. So you might earn responsibility for certain items very early actually, without being properly trained and without being 10 years in the field. And that's a disadvantage, is because it's a challenge, but in the positive sense, it's very exciting actually. And if you, in these small biotechs, there are several things. So your life is not very secure actually on the long-term perspective, but you can learn a lot within a very short amount of time. And you can, should the company fail, you learn so much that you are a very valuable employee for the next biotech company or a pharmaceutical company, because you have so much experience, first-hand experience of business actually. And I think that's the most inspiring thing in small biotechs. In bigger pharmaceutical companies, obviously the setup is different. There are more hierarchical things, and that's not bad, but it's different. And within bigger pharmaceutical companies, very frequently you have the possibility to move from one department in another department. So I know people that moved from research to the IT department, or from research to quality, or from production to quality, or from quality to elsewhere. You might not have that chances within a small biotech, because you don't have 10 departments with leadership positions at the same time. And so it depends on what you wish to do actually.
Okay, thank you again. So in the name of Felix Locker and me, we want to thank to all speakers in the name of YLSA and the Young Life Scientists Austria for this very motivating and especially important presentation for young scientists. And he also thinks that it seems like there is no such thing as overqualification. I hope that all participants enjoyed the first hour and our 3 speakers as much as I did. And now it's time to move on to officially open the Life Science Career Fair. So several months ago, ÖGMBT thought there is no Austrian-wide life science career fair in Austria. And why is that? And then in times of crisis, of course, we had to change the system, but it's my pleasure and honor that now we have several companies that joined us in this virtual career fair. It's actually the first Austrian-wide virtual career fair that the ÖGMBT organized together with the all life science clusters of Austria. And also, it's a perfect opportunity for the virtual meeting point for job seekers and HR departments of renowned companies, institutions, and university. And it will remain open until the end of March. You can visit it at any time, anywhere. And please also check back regularly because there will be additional exhibitors in the next 6 months. And there will also be special meeting points with the companies. So now Alexandra Kasitov, the head of the ÖGMBT, will give you a short introduction and in the virtual career fair.
Thank you, Pascal. So it's also my pleasure to welcome you here and to introduce you to the Austrian Life Science Career Fair. This initiative was realized within only 2 months, and this was only possible with strong support by the umbrella organization LISA and all the cluster organizations, which I would like to thank now. It was really important to have this support from these organizations. Pascal, also a huge thank to you for your support in your double function as ILSA and Human Technology Studio representative. So before taking you to the virtual tour, I would like to give some facts. As Pascal mentioned already, the Austrian Life Science Career Fair is open 24/7 and is available for everyone, so no registration is needed. It's just an online platform where everyone come in and inform themselves. It is online from today for the next 6 months. It's also the same duration for our scientific sessions, the Life Science Tuesdays. So it will be available until March 2021. So the career platform, is, as it says, is a platform for exhibitors present their company, the career pathways, and also job descriptions. And what was very important for us is not just to implement a platform for this information, but also to give you the opportunity to get in contact. So this platform is an interactive platform, and that means that you can have a text chat or video call with the exhibitors whenever they are online. And additionally, if you would like to have a one-to-one video call, you can make an additional appointment. I will go through the platform later so you can see how it works. Yeah. Additionally, I would like also to mention the job market of the ÖGMBT. For that, I would like to share my screen with you. So the ÖGMBT job platform is on our ÖGMBT web page, and here you can have a look at the job opportunities the companies offer right now. And to visit the career fair, it's also on the ÖGMBT platform. When you click here to career fair, you will come to this platform and have here an overview. Of all exhibitors right now. So what you can see in this overview is also whether the exhibitor is now online for a text chat or video call. So for example, this sign, this icon indicates that the exhibitor is online and available for the text chat, and this camera icon indicates also that they are online for video call for you. So let us visit several booths. Yeah, for example, we're now at HOOKIPA webpage. The companies have several informations placed here. For example, HOOKIPA offers special one-to-one chat function on on certain times, which are placed here. And if you go to the calendar function, you can also request one appointment with them. Yeah, when scrolling down, you can see the information of the company, the contact details, and also further informations about the company and what they're offering. So what else to mention? Yeah, like in a real exhibition, you can just walk in and have a look and get in contact whenever the representatives are online. And if they're not online, you can go through the information placed here, whether these are folders or videos and so on. Yeah, you can also leave a message to the exhibitors here. It's whenever you like, so they don't have necessarily to be online, or just get in contact also by the contact details, or here the people who are responsible for the booth. Yeah, so as Pascal also said, please visit the career fair in regular intervals because of updates of the participating exhibitors and also for new exhibitors. Thank you, Pascal.
Okay, now let's start with the companies. So the first one will be Ms. Gwen Kerform from HOOKIPA Biotech. Please, Ms. Kerform.
Hey, hi. You made already a great introduction of HOOKIPA, showing our booth. Thank you for that. So HOOKIPA, what does HOOKIPA do? We are on a journey to cure cancer and other infectious diseases. And how do we do that? Is that we use our proprietary platform, an RNA virus. Basically, you can imagine that you take the virus, put a gene on that, a target gene, and you bring it into the patient. Thank you for your advice to start the video.
Yep, we see you. Thank you.
Can you see me yet? No.
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't see myself, but that's okay too. So I was just talking about HOOKIPA. We are a clinical stage company. So we have two products which are on phase 2 right now, with 4 more in the pipeline. You will see details on that in the presentation that we have put online on our booth. So I invite you really to go there and check for us. Our goal for the next for the coming years is really to bring a product on the market, which means that we will manufacture that product and that we will go commercial. What does that mean for you as potential candidates and potential future employees of OKIPA is that there are tremendous potential for you. So, of course, in the research and development area, starting as a lab technician, for instance, with us, yet also as the previous presentators showed, there are a whole lot of supporting functions which are also necessary to bring a product to the finishing line, being the patient. You talked about IP, you talked about quality, you talked about marketing as well. These are all functions that we are going to build up in the coming years. So right now we are still very much focusing, of course, on research and development. It's what you see on our web page. All jobs, all openings are already there. Yet I would really invite you to send us also spontaneously your applications. If you know what you want to make for a difference in a company, just tell us that. It might be that we don't have yet an opening, yet we can put you on our pipeline of talents and get back at you when we are at that stage. And I invite you, of course, also to contact us if you want to know more about the company and to reach out to us at those for the dates that you've seen open on our booth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Kerfon. I think we should all check out OKIPA. Next up, we have Dr. Heinz Flapnitzer from the ERBA Group.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you. Okay, very good. So welcome to the ERBA Group. My name is Heinz Flapnitzer, and I'm director of the executive board and responsible for HR and operations in the group. It's very exciting for me to participate at such a virtual career fair. I think it's for all of us a new experience. Let me start with a quick overview about who we are and what we do. ERBA Group is a leading group of companies in the field of feed and food safety, with headquarters and research centers in Austria. The group comprises the brands Biomin and Roma Labs. We're a company with more than 1,300 employees in over 130 countries worldwide and sales of around 350 million euros. Important factors for our successful growth is our international focus and innovation, namely our own research center and development are located in Austria, where we host more than 100 researchers. What is it? What do we do exactly? To keep it short and simple, our work starts at the field and ends at the fork. We produce feed additives and offer storage solutions to improve feed stability and quality. Our scientists develop animal health solutions, and our diagnostic services offer test kits for mycotoxins, genetic engineered organisms, allergens, and residues for both feed and food. As a world-leading animal nutrition and health specialty company, ERBA Group will soon be part and member of the DSM family. Together with DSM, we will have the opportunity to enter the mycotoxin risk management market as the combined world leader and extend the company's position as one of the top suppliers in the rapidly growing animal gut performance management. DSM extensive A global network for food and feed customers will benefit from the expertise of Roma Labs and the combined group's data-based quality assurance offering. Of course, this will offer a lot of new opportunities for careers, for your careers and for your career path. We have been strongly growing in the past, and like I mentioned above before, we also want to grow in the future together with you. We have continuously more than 50 open job positions globally in our group. So let me give you an overview of what are the key roles we're looking for at the ÖRBA group, comprising of Biomin and Roma Labs. To become part of our expert R&D team, you should have a Master of Science or a PhD in biotechnology, biochemistry, or as a veterinarian. At Roma Labs, a degree in analytical chemistry and experience in the field is essential to be successful. As a product manager, you should have experience in the areas of feed and food safety, as well as feed production, and also have some commercial sense. We hire also sales managers, lab technicians, quality experts all year round. But besides of the technical facts, it's also important to bring some social skills that you are, which is very critical and key for our teams. So what does it mean? You're passionate, you have visions and ideas. You think ahead and really want to shape the future. You like to work in teams. Take a look at our slogan, Pioneer, Partners and Performers. This is our values and this is what we live and this is what we stand for. This is what drives us. It's not just a saying, this is how we live it across the globe. So thank you very much for joining us here today. It's a great pleasure for us to take part in this virtual career fair and get the chance to meet you. 2 of our recruiters are available every Thursday for 2 hours to answer your questions. You can set the exact time slots directly at the stand. So for more information about a career with the ÖRBA Group, Biomin or Roma, or about any vacancies, just sign up at our booth and our team will provide you with more information. So I hope to see you soon at our booth. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Fratnitzer. Next introduction will be by Philipp Heinzl of the Life Scientists Austria.
So thank you, Pascal. So hello and good afternoon. My name is Philipp Heinzl, and on behalf of Life Scientists Austria, I'm happy to welcome you at the ÖGMBT Career Fair and give you a short overview on the mission and portfolio of Life Scientists Austria and the EcoPlus and the LASER Vienna regional clusters. So Life Scientists Austria is a truly Austrian program. It incorporates all 5 Austrian life science clusters, promoting the Austrian life sciences as a whole abroad. So we are acting in the interest of the Austrian life science industry, from research centers to pre-seed projects, from small startups to big corporations. Our main activities comprise presence at international conferences and trade fairs and helping Austrian life science companies to promote themselves more efficiently abroad. And in general, we promote the Austrian life sciences as a whole, creating awareness of the Austrian life science sector. So at the ÖGMBT Life Science Career Fair, we want to introduce undergraduate and postgraduate students and postdocs in Austria to the vibrant Austrian life science sector and the job opportunities it is offering. Unfortunately, our colleagues from the Technopoles are tied up with business today, so I will briefly also introduce the regional cluster of Lower Austria, the EcoPlus. EcoPlus is strongly active in promoting the life sciences in their region. The Technopole program focuses on building up technology-oriented businesses locations near existing research and educational facilities, for example, in Krems or in Tulln. So on their behalf, I invite you to have a look at the presentations on these Technopoles, and these files are available at our joint virtual LISA booth, and will provide you with a brief overview on all the companies and research institutions located at these biotech-driven Technopoles in Lower Austria. Coming to the LISA Vienna cluster, LISA Vienna is a joint life science platform operated by the AWS, which is the Austrian Wirtschaftsservice, and the Vienna Business Agency, and it contributes to the advancement of life sciences in Vienna. So LISA Vienna supports innovative biotech, pharmaceutical, and medical technology companies in Vienna that develop and market new products, services, and processes. The platform links these companies with development partners and key customers. So in short, our offerings include information, networking, matching, expertise, and marketing. So at the ÖGM Life Science Career Fair gives a great opportunity for promoting challenging types of jobs in the life science network that you might not be familiar with. So I would like to give you a few examples and describe them shortly. So for example, an industry expert in biotech, pharma, medtech, or digital health. This person would be advising respective companies in topics of incorporation, relocation, funding, collaboration, and internationalization. A project manager in marketing and public relations has responsibilities and activities in the management of all communication channels in terms of design and text. So for example, all websites, all print news, all newsletters, social media challenges are in your responsibility. As an investment manager, for example, you would select and support the portfolio companies in close cooperations with experts, with expert panels. And as a funding expert, you are in charge of preparing, promoting, organizing, and closing funding programs. So for further information, please visit us at our virtual booth, contact us directly, subscribe to our newsletter, LinkedIn, or Twitter feed. So that's, in short, that it's from my side, and back to you, Pascal.
Okay, thanks, Philip. Now it will be Roland Fuchs to give us an introduction to the Standortagentur Tirol.
Roland? Hi, everybody. You can hear me, see me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Roland from the cluster Life Sciences Tirol. Tirol is one of the major life science regions in Austria with global operating companies and well-known universities and research centers. The main task of our network is to assist cooperations between companies or between industries and the science. And like Philipp Heinzel also was telling all the work about the network. What career opportunities we are able to offer in the for the life scientists is we can offer on our homepage, for example, we have a competence atlas where you found the companies of our network. And we also have on our booth, the life science booth, we have a branch catalog from the medical technology and healthcare branch in Tirol. And we are looking forward to meet you there.
Okay, thank you, Roland.
Yeah.
For this kind of introduction of the cluster life. Now it is my turn, as Alexandra already mentioned, for a short introduction. Apart from being the YLSA head in the region South in my free time, professionally, I'm a business development manager at the Human Technology Styria, the life science cluster of Styria. So the HTS was founded in 2004, and currently we are 10 team members with our 140 members from academia, industry, and research institutes. We are at the interface of economy, science, and politics, and are covering the whole value chain of the life science industries. Similar to the other life science clusters, our fields of expertise are pharma, biotech, and medtech, but also digitalization in healthcare and life science is an important part. Of course, I have to say that because I'm responsible for the digitalization part. And other main topics are active healthy aging. So Styria is the only European active healthy aging reference site of Austria. And we are also helping, we are also enabling digital innovation of companies and providing them winning. So feel free to also visit our booth. We have the Essence, which is brochure for all members, and also Botenstoff, which is our magazine that we are publishing 4 times a year. Feel free to ask me any questions you want, or just check out our websites, our LinkedIn, general, our social.
Pascal seems to have a connection issue at the moment. Somebody?
Yes, I think the next in the row should be EcoPlus. Angelika Weiler, are you making your own presentation? Okay, then I think we're done with the clusters, and we can go on to Gisela Zechner of Life Science Career Services. Please start your video also.
Okay. Okay, can you see me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, both.
Okay. Good afternoon and hello to the visitors, the exhibitors, and also the event organizers. And it's a pleasure for me to be here at the ÖGMBT Annual Meeting. My name is Gisela Zechner, and I am the owner and founder of Life Science Career Services. This is a job board specialized on life scientists and bioscientists. And we support companies and professionals in their efforts to meet each other more easy and quickly. We aim on companies and experienced professionals, young graduates in the fields of nutrition, food, and environment. Our activities, there's our job board specialized on young scientists, with an education in biology, biotechnology, life sciences, medicine, even agriculture, forestry, physics, statistics, and comparable. And when you take a look on the positions, you can find positions for research jobs as well as jobs for management, for sales or administration. The key question is, does the employee need a life science knowledge or a life science background for his work? And when you take a look on the job board, you will find a lot of information if you want. There you can find, you can get an insight in the competences and skills which are needed for specific or particular jobs you will catch in the future. So you can start now to acquire those skills, and then you have a pole position when you are applying for this job. And you will also, so when you scroll through the different jobs, you will also get maybe you will be surprised about the most and the many different jobs which are offered with you to your education. And here at the ÖGMBT Annual Meeting, we offer you a CV check. The CV and the cover letter is the first impression you give an employer. And it's very important to how you make it. And This information, the cover letter and the CV, decide either you will be invited to a personal interview or not. All further information to the CV check you can find on our booth at the career fair here at the annual meeting. And besides the job board, we organize networking events. Once in a year, we make the Life Science Success, a networking event for researchers in science and in industry. And this conference is combined with the Life Science to Business Award for the best collaboration of science and business. And we also honor the Janssen, we also present the Janssen Special Award to projects with high impact on the health in the future. And all our activities are completed with an information platform on which we report about activities in universities, research institutes, companies, about management and leadership know-how, and about general life science news. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate, contact us. We are looking forward to get in touch with you. Thank you.
Okay, Pascal, are you already online to introduce the next speaker? First of all, I want to say thank you to Gisela Zechner for giving this wonderful presentation. Pascal? Okay, Pascal is not there, then I may introduce as next speaker Caitlin Appleby, who comes to us from the Ludwig Boltzmann Gesellschaft Career Center. Caitlin?
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, both. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Hello. So my name is Caitlin Appleby. I am an alumni relations and program manager here at the Ludwig Boltzmann Gesellschaft. The Ludwig Boltzmann Gesellschaft is, for those of you who don't know about us, we're one of the oldest non-university research organizations in Austria. We have approximately 20 different research institutes of our own, primarily in the life sciences area. And the LBG Career Center was founded in 2016 to provide career development services to pre- and postdoc researchers at our own research institutes. But in 2019, we started an outreach program, and we are now offering career development services to pre- and postdoc researchers from universities, other non-university research organizations, as well as individuals living and working in Austria. So please come by our stand and check out some of our services. We offer, for example, individualized career coaching and career consulting to help you identify your career goals. Perhaps, you know, some of the speakers we're talking about in the pharma industry, you may not know what kind of direction to take. It's a new industry if you're moving from academia into the field, and coaching can help you identify which areas you could potentially go into. We also offer career consulting, which includes, similar to our previous speaker, CV checks, application letter checks, interview prep, and all of the things that sort of go into actually getting a job. We also have regularly career events. So we offer skills trainings. Many of the speakers in the first part talked about these transferable skills, which we know are a vital part of getting a job in industry. And we seek to develop this in our researchers. And also, I think for many researchers, it's not about creating new skills, but sort of sharpening already existing skills, and also helping researchers become aware of the skills that they already have, and how this transfers and translates into industry. We also support researchers who want to continue careers in academia. So we have, for example, career workshops on how to improve your funding proposals. We offer, next year, we're kicking off a special program called the Winter School Revise and Revitalize, which will include a writing retreat. And so it's really targeted towards helping young researchers publish and giving them the skills that they need to be successful also in an academic sphere. So these are just some of our programs and events, and we have many more. I encourage you all to stop by our stand, check out our services. You can chat. Myself and my colleague, Lisa Grum, are available at the stand to talk to or chat with you. We are also available. You can send us an email if you have any questions. And our services, you may qualify for using our services for free or for a very reasonable fee. So come check us out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, then I'll refrain. Pascal is online. Great.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea, for stepping in. And thanks to Caitlin Appleby for this insights into the LBG Career Center. Now we will have an introduction to Lohmann und Rauscher from Ganze Altuntas. I hope I pronounced this correctly.
Gamze Altuntas from Lohmann und Rauscher, are you there? Pascal, maybe we move on and come back to her.
Okay, then let's move on to Fenestra GmbH. Klaus Gramann, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Pascal, and thanks for the organizers for this great event, I think, and for the opportunity to shortly present Fenestra here. Fenestra is a company active in the field of stem cells and stem cell derived products. It's a fairly new company, so also early in its career. We're still finalizing the last steps of our seed financing. Still, we already invite candidates for applying for some positions and profiles we've posted, which will then be needed for our core team, which will start operations in the next couple of months. Operations will be in Linz in Upper Austria. And yeah, so I think we are really looking for candidates who, of course, bring in valuable skills, but also I think the mindset is very important. Also, I think curiosity, as was mentioned before, also during the presentations, and we really look people who share our passion for science, but also translating science into great products. This is exactly what we want to do, to create products which can be used then for R&D purposes, but also for therapeutic purposes. So we will also work under GMP conditions. So of course we will start very small, but I think our plan, and if our plan materializes, we will also grow fast, and we will also have then further development opportunities, hopefully, over the next couple of years. So this was actually my brief overview and summary. Thanks again, and hope to see some of you in the near future.
Okay, Pascal seems to be gone again. The next speaker we call on is from Ribbon Biolabs, the CEO, Dr. Harold de Vlada. Can you please enter the stage and put on your video? Thank you.
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see and hear you now.
Good. I don't see myself, but I trust that you can see me. Yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for this opportunity. It's nice to be here, see you guys presenting such interesting portfolios of companies. And yeah, a bit word about myself. I'm Harold Blader, the CEO of Ribbon Biolabs. By training, I am a biophysicist and a mathematician. And a few years ago, I started Ribbon Biolab together with some colleagues and co-founders. We have been working together for about 2 years or 2.5 years. We have been growing and developing since then, both in terms of technology, in terms of team, in terms of equity, gaining value for the company, and actually building towards making a difference in synthetic biology. So what do? We do synthetic biology. More specifically, in our company, we synthesize DNA molecules. So we are focusing in developing a technology for long and complex DNA molecules, which is something that is not possible for other companies existing. We are a Vienna-based company, and right now we are 8 people, but we are still hiring for several positions through the rest of the year and many more positions through next year. So we're pretty well funded at the moment by several grants from the Vienna Business Agency, from the FFG, from H2020, from AWS, as well as from 2 private venture capitalists from Austria, namely IST-Cube and TechNet Equity. And yeah, we would be very happy to receive applications from different for different positions from different people. So feel free to contact me or any of our team members, and please visit our virtual booth as well as our webpage, where you can find more information regarding our company and the open positions. I think that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
So, Pascal, we have a phantom that is called Pascal in the meeting. Thank you very much, Harold, for your introduction to Ribbon Biolabs. The next on the agenda is Birgit Seyfried, representing Takeda. She's the head of Analytical Development Europe.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I am Birgit Seyfried, and I am heading the analytical development team here in Europe, which is part of the research and development department of Takeda here in Austria. For all of you who do not know Takeda that well, a short introduction on the history of the company and the philosophy we have. So Takeda is a patient-orientated, focusing on innovation, global biopharmaceutical company with their headquarters in Japan. So this is in Tokyo. The goal of the company is that we provide innovative, life-changing medicines based on scientific knowledge for life-changing treatment until the company devise better health, brighter future to serve patients around the world. So the history of Takeda is not limited in Austria, but it is long, so more than 200 years. The Austrian, for all of you who do not know it, the Austrian research and production sites are located in Vienna, Linz, and Ort an der Donau. Said that, Takeda is the largest biopharma company in Austria, with the main focus on rare and complex medicines, diseases. Altogether, Takeda has more than 400 employees in Austria in research and development and production. So the main focus of research and development in Austria is on complex biologics, gene therapy, innovation and technologies, device development, and plasma-derived products. The main responsibilities include the whole development of a product, which means it is the beginning of the selection of a lead candidate until the approval of the product on the market. So the focus is on the continuous development on new and also existing processes, and in general of all products regarding the clinical stage. Yeah. Another focus in Takeda is environment, health, and security. This is the reason why Takeda set the goal to be climate neutral in 2040. So this is also a challenge for research and development to develop new and innovative processes and products so that we can reach the goals. And this is really important for us. Yeah. Another focus in our daily life in R&D are partnerships. So in R&D, we have more than 200 partnerships globally, which extend our scientific experience. Yeah. Because of that, and also used to work with a lot of partnerships, universities, we are very open. Yeah, and we want to especially promote young talents. Yeah? Not only to join Takeda, but also in cooperation with Takeda to give them a perspective and to make their master and PhD programs out in Takeda or with Takeda. And this is also the reason why we established a new master and PhD program, which is really very important for us to promote young talents. And at the end, I just want to mention that we will continuously update our booth, and please be welcomed, as every Tuesday another member of the research and development team member will be there to answer your questions and will be there for you. So thank you.
Okay, thanks to Birgit Seyfried from Takeda. As you heard, you should join every Tuesday, not just for the Takeda, but also the other booths. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to one of our cluster members from the HDS, Spermidine Live, which will be introduced by Selina Möstl.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you can basically see me, you can hear me, my lovely listeners. Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation, of course. Thank you very much for setting up all of this very, very accurately. Whenever I basically present Longevity Labs, or our main product as it's called, Spermidine Life right now, I basically start with 3 questions, and these are, have you ever asked yourself whether there is basically a company where you actually have the chance to learn something new every day, or whether there is a company that allows you to actively contribute to the evolvement of the organization with all your individual strength and also your full potential, and whether there is a company where it's really great to work at because it reunites basically the latest and most groundbreaking research results with the implementation of state-of-the-art technology. Well, then I am really happy to talk to you right now, because basically there is, and I can really say that we with Longevity Labs Plus really reunite all those attributes that I just mentioned. basically, we are the producer of a nutritional supplement with headquarters and production on-site here in Graz, Austria, and also another office in Vienna already, where basically marketing and business development is situated, and even already an affiliate company in the US that we are really, really proud of. More precisely, we as Longevity Labs Plus, we are the producer of Spermidine Life. You may have heard of it already. Just because of the fact it's the first and so far also only known clinically tested supplement that through its very, very unique composition is able to basically promote cell renewal, which basically means it makes your body younger on an overall basis. And yeah, basically after an intense research period of more than 10 years at the University of Graz and also under the supervision of the well-known aging scientist, Dr. Frank Matteo, the product has first been launched at the beginning of 2019. And since then, however, I really have to mention, the company has grown from a really tiny company, like a typical startup basically, to a solid small size but already globally acting, as already said, company with more or less yeah, basically around 40 employees right now already, basically because we are hiring on a constant basis more or less. And as for me, as already introduced by Pascal, my name is Selina Möstl, and I have started my journey with Longevity Labs Plus at the beginning of 2020. So I've been working with the company for more or less 10 months right now. And in the role of a project manager, I'm basically involved in the activities and tasks of a lot of different departments, which make my personal work very, very exciting. Yeah, with basically very, very exciting when it comes to the diversity of what I have to do, what I'm involved in. And at the same time, however, since we are a very dynamic and young company, and due to the nature of our environment and the nature of our company, it's never getting boring in any of the divisions. So if so far I was able to somehow grab your attention until this point, you basically may ask yourself right now, how does the typical employee look like that starts his or her own journey here at Longevity Labs Plus? And in that context, I can tell you that in many, many cases, the people who start working here, they are kind of still studying. And the prior intention is, or the prior intention why they submit an application here is that they want to gain first work experience or first relevant work experience with regard to their field of studies. So in the majority of cases, they then probably study molecular biology or something related, and they have had already direct contact with Dr. Frank Matteo, or they are basically studying industrial or process engineering when talking about production on site again, and they want to help develop it further on in order to fulfill global requirements basically. In other words, there are always a lot of opportunities to basically start your career with Longevity Labs Plus when your educational background lies in scientific or the technical field. Nevertheless, as I mentioned already, since we've been growing so tremendously within a very, very short time, the last month, there is always a couple of or a variety of business-related positions that we offer as well. For example, in, I don't know, marketing, e-commerce, international business development, controlling, and all the areas that are necessary for very well-functioning company anyway. On a junior and a senior level, then of course you can apply as well. And ideally, in order to apply for such a position, then you are holding a business degree already, or you are still studying and want to gain relevant work experience as well on like as a part-time role, or you have had several years of work experience already. So this is more or less the prerequisite that we would ask from you in that context. So if you are interested in currently available positions, you can always search under www.spermidinelife.com/jobs. However, the 2 jobs that are currently exhibited there, they're basically already they are no longer available because I was just informed by the HR department that we have more or less assigned them to persons today already. Nevertheless, the homepage is always somehow actualized, so we try to really keep it up to date in terms of the working, like the job, the jobs that are available there. And if nothing really fits your particular, I don't know, field of interest, or if you think like, okay, I can contribute probably another way, then you can, of course, always send your spontaneous application as well. And of course, stating your particular motivation and why you would like to especially work for Longevity Labs Plus. And so at the end of my very, very quick presentation right now, I just want to state that whenever you have any further, I don't know, questions, might it be in terms of the company or the product itself, then you can always send an email to office@spermidinelife.com as well, or visit our booth in order to really, inform yourself about the job situation or the things going on and everything that's basically changing. So that's everything from my side.
Thank you, Selina, for your kind introduction to Longevity Labs and your product Spermidin Life. I've heard that Gamze Altuntas is now here to introduce Lohmann and Trauscher.
Yes. Hi, I'm sorry for the technical issues. You can hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Gamze Altuntas. I've been working for 2 months at Lohmann and Trauscher in the HR department. And yes, today I would like to give you a short overview about L&R. L&R is a leading international provider of high quality medical and hygiene products, from the classic dressing material, the modern treatment solutions and care system. In 1998, L&R was formed by the merger of the German company Lohmann, established in 1851, with the Austrian company Rauscher. So L&R has more than 160 years experience in the development, production, sale, and distribution of dressing materials and medical devices. With more than 5,300 employees, 49 group companies and holdings, as well as more than 140 selected partner companies worldwide, L&R is presented in all major markets around the world and achieved a sales volume of more than 670 million euros in 2019. The 2 L&R locations with the headquarter functions are Rengsdorf in Germany and Vienna in Austria. We have our own research and development centers worldwide in Austria, Germany, as well as in France, UK, and in the USA. The focus areas in R&D are at first development of product portfolios in all core business segments, such as set systems, wound care and bandages and supports, development of products with USP, safeguarding and upgrading of materials, and enhancement of competitiveness. We also have a microbiology facility situated at the L&R location in Schönau and Dresden in Austria. Yeah. Your idea is appreciated by L&R. There's an opportunity to share your idea on new procedures, materials, treatment options with us by using the contact option via our website. Your idea will be evaluated by our interdisciplinary team in our institutionalized innovation management as part of our R&D division. Yeah, coming to our career options, we are offering a wide range of career opportunities and insights to an internationally expanding medical company of critical infrastructure. Our own L&R Academy provides you with different professional training programs. Right now, we would like to point out that we have a vacancy as laboratory manager in the quality and regulatory affairs at the L&R site in Schönau. Yeah, for more information, please visit our booth. Should you have individual questions, we are happy to answer them via the chat function every Friday from 11 to 12 o'clock during the whole affair till March 2021. And if you would like to ask for another dates, you can find my contact details on our profile. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gamsa Tuntas, for this, the introduction of Lohmann and Rauscher. Now it's my turn. We have another company, a research institute, which is ACIP, the Austrian Center of Industrial Biotechnology. I will introduce them shortly, as I also did master thesis there. The ACIP is an international competence center for industrial biotechnology. It is, the research centers are located in Austria, in Graz, Innsbruck, and Vienna. And currently they are employing more than 250 scientists. So their focus is on biotech, pharma, and chemical industry. And they are part of the COMAT founding. So they are a competence center for excellent technologies now in the second stage. I highly recommend, if you want to do research, that you should check out ACIP and their booth. Okay, so now to wrap everything up, I think Harald wants to have some last words, and then I will have some comments. Harald, the stage is yours.
So do you still have comments? You said you have comments.
Wanted to give you the stage, and then I will wrap it up, if that's okay.
Yeah. Well, then let me bring some of the information I wanted to give you. Still, I'll share my screen. And it's my pleasure and honor to wrap up the kickoff days as such. I hope you can see my presentation. What we have had the last few days were scientific sessions in the mornings usually, and even more interactive sessions in the afternoons, which are streamed on YouTube. On the one hand side, award sessions, an introduction to the Life Science Tuesdays, because our conference is not over, it has just started with the kickoff days. Then we have had the kickoff of our virtual expo, and today not only an illustration of career opportunities in life sciences, but also, as has just ended, the kickoff of the virtual life science career fair. All of this would not have been possible, and also the Life Science Tuesdays that are still to come in a bi-weekly fashion, without a fantastic effort of Alexandra Kassidov, Andrea Bauer, and Walter Glaser, and probably some further team members who I did not have the privilege to meet in person so far. Thanks to the core team of ÖGMBT, because we have spent numerous hours, or they have spent numerous hours, and we've discussed the whole program. I would like to thank them in the name of all the participants. I would also like to thank all speakers, all panelists, all discussion members, all attendees of the kickoff days, because this has been a live and lively event. And with that, going on with my words of thank you, I would also like to thank the support that also made these days possible, the sponsor from the ministry, FEPS FEMS, and a great number of companies that provided financial support. As I already said, the outlook should also be there because the conference is not over. This year it will last for about 6 months. So it will end in March. And from now on until March, 2 fairs are open, 1 fair, 1 expo. So as we've just heard, the different possibilities in careers in life sciences, this career fair will be open, and you find the link on the slide. You find the link as well in the conference booklet, and you find the link on the homepage of the ÖGMBT. And the same goes for the virtual expo. Please visit also the virtual expo. It's the same, basically the same platform and the same concept as the career fair. In this case, companies that supply life sciences with their products present themselves in booth. So you can hopefully visit both fairs and you will get familiar with the layout. It's basically, as far as I know, the same. And then I would like to go on to advertise also the Life Science Tuesdays, because we have had 3 scientific sessions during the kickoff days now, but we will have 12 more such scientific sessions enriched by interactive possibilities like mixers, like breakout rooms, to discuss in more depth with industry, with suppliers, with scientists, with students. It'll be quite an experience until March 21. So you see, we have, if I may say, programs usually Tuesday afternoons. That's why we call them Life Science Tuesdays, usually starting at 1:30 in the afternoon till about 5 to 6, depends on the program. And it will be plenary lectures, it will be short lectures, short talks, it will be science flashes, replacing poster sessions, and there will be ample chance of discussion. During all of these Life Science Tuesdays, usually the different fairs and expos are open as well. And with that, I would like to go for my final slide. And this is about announcing the first Life Science Tuesday, which will take place on October 6th. The topic is lipids and metabolism. The chairs are Martina Schweiger and Gernot Schabauer. And the invited main speaker is Andrej Kuda from the Czech Academy of Sciences. And with this, I wish you a pleasant afternoon and evening, and hope to see you again for the first Life Science Tuesday.
Okay, thanks Harald. Also, thanks to everyone for listening and participating. I think we had a great mixture of young and, I would say, hungry, innovative, fast-growing companies to big pharmaceutical industry. And also big thanks for everyone that was involved in organizing, and sorry for maybe giving you a little heart attack with always disappearing. I think it's one of the first time problems. At least I had a bit of action with disappearing and stepping back in. I think it was an interesting session, and it's also great to finally have the first Austrian-wide life science career fair. And again, big thanks for the scientific committee from Graz that made the whole program possible, and that we can still have an annual meeting in these complicated times. Okay, thank you.